Where's the sound trip ever taken?
What a laugh this episode is. Boy, if only I knew where to get more Oddcast episodes. That's right, you can go over to patreon.com/oddcastn for just $1 or a 7-day free trial, see how you feel about it. But just $1, I'm not even making that up, just $1, and you can get access to all of the Jokey Pants Has Bad Taste early and anything else that we might do. I would say you'd get What an Oddcast early, but scheduling with that is typically just the week before it has to come out, so it's not exactly easy to get that up unless you just want it like a day early. Then I could probably do that, but that's the best I could do. Best I could do is a day early. I'm sorry. But go over there, patreon.com/oddcastn. Catch you on the episode. Goodbye. Yes. Hi, everyone. It's me, Jokey Pants. I'm with my good co-host, Cerebral Paul, as usual.
Good for what? As my father would ask. Oh, no. Good.
I don't know. Keeping me on track sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about the rest of Derry. Welcome to Derry.
Well, the actual title is It. Welcome to Derry.
Okay.
Get the whole thing out there.
Welcome to Derry.
There you
Good
go.
God,
See?
if you don't know what it is, what rock have you been living under? So we did a first part of the season on our last episode. We got up to episode 4. We were kind of discussing what we thought it might do. So now that it's finished, and people have a lot of opinions about it. Oh boy. So right off the bat, with episode 5, we delved into more about the shine, how Pennywise apparently can just fuck with you if you have that, which apparently he really likes, because for all the rest of the season, he just kept finding reasons to mess with that man. It's just like, it's so evil.
I think he can kind of screw with everybody in a sense, but the people that are open to the shine, he can have that much more access to.
Yeah. So for the whole rest of the season, it very much like they showed Halloran's past, and they showed that like the little box he used to keep all the spirits in, and that he essentially hid his shine in so that they didn't find him. Pennywise broke it open and broke this man.
Yep.
So
real quick, for those who may not be aware or read the book or had been a long time since you've seen the movie The Shining, Halloran had shown Danny how to put his fears put the ghost in the box and lock them away so they wouldn't scare him all the time. So this is the box he's talking about. This is his box that we saw break open. So this is where that comes from. And actually, it ties back to the Shining.
Yeah, which I thought it was pretty fun way to play with things there, because he's technically he is in that story, so it was a neat way to incorporate him and have it be like, no, he's gonna go into the Shining. Like, we're gonna delve into all of this now. But no, I thought overall that the whole rest of the season, I loved it. Like, I loved this entire season. They're playing with a lot of ideas that I think are very neat. One of them being that somebody who has the shine, Pennywise, could just be like, hey, you see dead people. Well, hey, so do I. How about you just deal with this whole horde of dead people I found because no one else can.
Yeah.
Which is so mean. He does that to him the whole rest of the season.
Yeah.
And it's so cruel.
He basically tries to break him because he knows that Halloran can track him. Halloran can find him. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, so the military reveals their whole plan of that because Pennywise is in a cage, it is in a cage that the natives had made out of the fallen star that he came from. they got it in their heads that if they could remove the bars and let them free, that they could somehow control the thing and be like, it'll do what we want it to, and it'll make everyone afraid, because if people have fear, they obey. God,
that never works out. That never works out.
No, it never works for anyone. Have they not just watched The Mist? Did they not see that these things don't ever work?
Well, I think part of it was the idea, especially since are we going to go episode by episode or just kind of talk about stuff?
Just in general is what I was doing. Just in general.
So toward the end, when the general actually gets to talk to it in the form of Pennywise, you think it thinks, well, you kind of owe us because we're setting you free to come upon the world, and you're the devourer of worlds, blah blah blah. Very.
I literally clapped at my TV at that scene for Pennywise to just look at him and be like, I recognize that smell. And then shows him the priest face that he had when he was a kid. I was like, oh yes, give this man his comeuppance. Like, he so deserves this. I don't feel bad for you, General, because you had this coming.
but the hope is to think that because we set you free, you're gonna kind of do what we want you to do.
Yeah, that you'll just obey and you'll be our little monster. And it's like, nah, man, that's not how that works. You've watched this thing literally this thing has actually killed your soldiers. You think he's willing to listen to any of you? You just watched him eviscerate like 20 guys in 3 seconds. Just seriously.
And you're like, hey, let's talk.
But going back to Halloran quick, after Pennywise does all that to him, he breaks out the shine, he breaks open the box, lets spirits out that he hadn't seen. His mental decline through the season was interesting to see, of him going from I'm a calm, confident, I've got this, we can handle this, to he just perpetually is shaking and cannot handle everything that is coming at him. Was an interesting way to see him slowly degrade over the rest of the season.
Shaking and sweating. I mean, you'd swear he was going through withdrawals. They weren't withdrawals, but that's what he looked like.
So much.
He went from I see dead people going, okay, that's enough dead people.
Seriously. Will and his family get moved onto the base because the general reveals all what's actually going on in Derry, and it's no, on the military base you're safe. I told you to move onto the base so you weren't in the town. That was the whole reason we did that for you.
You'll be safe. Yeah, that'll come to play later too.
So, skipping ahead, the massacre scene for this season in episode 7, where they get to the big bloody massacre that it always does, that was such a brutal sequence of events. My God. I was not prepared for how brutal that
and if anybody didn't shed a tear for Richie, okay, you're dead inside.
Yeah, if you did not cry or feel anything that whole sequence was just so heartfelt and just goddamn. I hurt when I saw that. I was like, no, come on, kid. No, you've had the time of your life this whole night. No. God damn it. Which should have been the warning with the episode before it, where he's finally getting in with Marge. He's finally having a great night. He gets to play in the jazz band. And of course you died. Fucking of course you died. God damn it. You were too happy in this series. You had to go. Yeah. Because what I expected to happen in my mind was these racist fucking townspeople We're going to just barge in guns blazing. And the fact that it didn't just go that route. If you haven't seen it,
didn't you remember?
just go
Didn't you
watch
remember
it.
we saw this event in the movie in both, or flashes of this event through the son's eyes? Yeah. Which in the movie, this place was more in the middle of town. By the way, if you remember, it was
Is that? Oh, is that?
Or maybe is that where he was just visualizing it? Maybe that's just where he would remember the door, the burned people bursting out of the door. You couldn't save them. Blah blah blah. So that when it was
is that what that was in reference to?
That was in reference to the Black Dot Fire.
Okay. That whole episode for the Black Spot that
was a heavy episode, man. And then after the events at the Black Spot, and you hear on the radio the announcements of how it happened, and it's nothing of how it happened. Oh, there was an electrical fire or something. Immediate cover up.
Yeah. It's like, no, we totally didn't lock the doors and burn everyone alive. No, that would be terrible. and shoot everyone that tried to escape. We didn't do that at all. But also, even before you got to that point, when they were down in the sewers in it was like episode 5 there, Lily gets the shard. So she has the dagger, whatever, that like keeps Pennywise at bay. And I like that in the finale episode they explain that the shard is just as evil as the creature is. It just instead of the creature infecting your mind and like you physically see he's trying to do something, that it just influences your mind. So, like, you shouldn't be holding it very long because you will go insane because it is filled with his dark energy. And I was like, that's an interesting little thing there, that even the thing that can stop it is also super fucking evil. Nothing to do with him is anything you can touch.
And all it wants to do is get home, which I really didn't understand. Where's home? Because it wasn't in the tree he was supposed to be in, because that was the whole thing, toward the end there. Was he gonna go out to NASA and ask for a ride? What's he gonna do?
That's the thing. I want to say that. I want to say really is like it that it wants to take Pennywise and everything back to the like in between realms or whatever that he fell from, basically. But again, just to know that like it is just as evil as he is. It's just that you have to use it to keep it in line. Is a neat little twist to have in there about this helps you, but it'll also fucking kill you. Like nothing's good here.
And it's interesting that even though it's evil, it was trying to keep Pennywise. It was built to hold Pennywise or the creature, the entity.
Yeah. So we also in the Black Spot episode, we also got the meme that has now made its way around everywhere as well of this dumb bitch still thinking that it's her dad. And like, to a degree, I could be like, okay, like, it did show you your dad's face. Like, okay, maybe. But when you see it decapitate a man and begin to eat its head like an apple, I think there should be something in your brain that clicks like, you know what? I guess that's not my father. It took way too long for her to like break out of her psychosis. Just like,
I think she was pretty broken by that point. Even that's why I think Dad, it's 27 years later. You haven't aged a day.
So I have a question. And it's something that it's still kind of bothering me, which it'll lead into the thing that they're kind 42. Of hinting at.
42.
So he deadlights the daughter there, leaving her just in an insane crippled mess, and she gets hauled away in episode 7. And they don't really show you anything until after the full finale in 8. That it then at the end, the post credit for it was that she has been in the asylum, ranting and raving about a monster who lives in the woods who ate her dad, and that's what happened to him, and they all need to be afraid, and they all need to kill it, blah blah blah. And then it flash forwards to that she is now an old lady. We're now 26 years later. We're like right as it is about to wake up again. And they do a Beverly as a child, like that she met the old woman when she was a kid. Now, my question is, does that still work with the movies? Because technically speaking, Beverly sees her again when she's an adult, and it's when she's looking into Pennywise. So, like, wouldn't she have some kind of memory that comes back with, I've seen this woman before? Or is that just the reason why when she says the line about people who die don't really die made her just like, what did you say? Like, was it just a way to keep that as like, this is why she connected it?
Right. By the way, the actress that played the old lady has passed away soon after she finished recording this part. So
I did see that too.
She did a great job. She did a great job.
She did a very good job with but that's my question there, because by the time we get into the finale, there's some things that we'll talk about there that I think may also be at play with that scene as well. Before we get there though, he steals all the children in the finale. Like, just every single child gets taken, and which was an insane twist.
I have a question about that. If one of his goals is to stop Mike, why did he leave them at the front? Why didn't he just eat him as soon as he had his paws on him? You know,
I had the same question too. Why he's not? Like, you had the dad of one of the Losers Club right there. Like, you make references to it like shortly after. You could have just eaten him, but you I don't know, wanted him as a snack with all the others. I was a little confused by that too, because the reason we're saying that is towards later in that finale, when our group finally catches up to everything, he approaches Marge, and for people who didn't know, because there's a lot of people who are very like, oh my god, I can't believe it, and it's just, I get it, the book's very, very big, it's very long, it can be hard to get through, I understand. However, there have been so many people that have pointed out that she is Richie's mom in the future movies, so like, if you just pay attention just a little bit, you would have caught on to that. But just in case, they did have this whole thing in here where he corners off Marge and he's almost going to eat her, but he also makes some talks here, which is what we're getting into now, of what this series is potentially doing, that the director is even kind of hinting at it himself. I've seen some people who hate it. I like it because it adds a unique little twist to be doing it the way he's doing it. But he tells Marge that she's going to have a son, and that son will be named Richie after the man who saved her life. Oh, how sweet. But then he also mentions that the child will bring his death. But then he clarifies, is it my death or is it my rebirth? It's all the same to me, because the creature, reveals he knows that the future, the past, the present, which I saw a whole video that explained this in a way that, and I'll do my best to explain it in the way that I saw it explained, because it's digestible enough. But the Stephen King universe has a thing called the Wheel of Ka, because King was on cocaine, so everything sounds strange. It's all of this was in that time where he was just on binges. So a lot of this is very strange. But essentially, it's that there's some things in the King universe that cannot be stopped, that they just continue going in a circle, they continue happening over and over. And that there's groups, much like the Losers Club, who always appear to continue this cycle and do it every time. So basically, like the Losers Club in the 80s and forward, whatever, like them fighting Pennywise, then growing up and killing him, happens in a cycle. It always happens, it repeats. And they reveal that Pennywise knows about this. Very much that, like, he is stuck in a constant loop. That no matter what he's ever done, he'll feed, he'll go to sleep, and continue that up until someone finally kills him. The thing that they've added with this series, that I kind of like it because it adds a unique flair to what he's doing here, is essentially Pennywise knows that when the Losers Club kills him, they break that cycle for themselves, as they're seen to not have the curse anymore. They remember things. Their blood oath marks, like, it's a whole thing. So essentially he knows that if something were to happen, it would break that cycle. So for him, if he can stop them from ever being born, he doesn't have to keep doing this loop, and he can just continue to eat things the way he wants.
See, that's different than the one I read said he knows that the Losers Club of 2016 is going to be the last one, that they're going to kill him, they're going to end him. That's why that breaks him. So he knows that that's when he stops. That he can see no further into the future after that point. So he knows, okay, that's my stop point. I need to stop them from doing that somehow.
Yeah, so it's
and then you get into the whole time travel thing. Yeah,
because he tries to eat Marge, and then he gets stopped last minute, which again goes back to King's, like, the way the King universe works is that this is something that cannot be stopped. It will always happen. Like, essentially implying that, like, he's going to try to do this. So it's like, if they could do it in the future, then he can do it too. He just has to stop them from being born. Yeah. So he can do it.
Now, the other interesting side is this having what happened to Marge and what she knows, if it's true, because she saw the picture of this is going to be your son and I'm going to go after his ass. Remember how anal she was about protecting Richie.
Yes.
I mean,
I even saw somebody.
She didn't want him hanging out with the Losers Club because she knew what was happening.
I also saw somebody else point out that she gave him, like, generational trauma to clowns.
Yeah,
because when she talks about that, the only thing he hates and fears is clowns. And everybody's like, oh shit, because Marge almost got fucking eaten by one. So, like, passing on generational fucking trauma, apparently.
The first time he's watching TV and sees, like, Clarabelle and he's laughing and no, that's not funny. That fucker will kill you.
Which going back into Halloran and his shine with this series, I like that. He not only was he able to track him, but, like, he traps Pennywise in his own mind. So, which was a funny little bit that he makes him Bob Gray in the past and just being like, I'm a god, I'm an eater of worlds. What do you mean? And they just slap him like, guess you got your head a little
Bob,
too hard.
You need to lay off the sauce there, Bob.
And the disrespect on this man's face, it's like, the fuck did you just say to me?
Have you looked in a mirror, Bob? We can't take you seriously right now. Okay,
I love that it was able to fuck with him in that way, of just because that's something that you haven't seen happen to where anyone's able to do something similar to what he does to people to him. So that was an interesting little, like, an interesting thing to add in there. That, like, no, you just have to be very strong and able to do it. But no, so, like, honestly, this season, from where we left off, that we were wondering what exactly they were going to do, it got very intense, and I liked the way they handled things. I liked that it delved more into how the curse works, why the natives do what they do. There's also, because when the natives, they all like have a meeting every month about what's happening, who's died, what's blah, blah, blah. I like that they set up the black spot stuff when they talk about, basically they say that the creature, the entity, whatever it excretes is in the main water supply. So when it's gearing up for a massacre, it's pumping more of that in, and everybody's drinking water, so it's just able to infect and influence what is going to happen. Which I thought that was also like a neat little. It was like, I like that. I like that we're explaining how it brainwashes people and does what it does in Derry, is that it's excreting that into the water and nobody's aware of it.
And it also just may make them more aggressive, like what happened at the Black Dot.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. They
Be-
do also mention that it makes him more aggressive.
He wants the death. He wants the the
Yes.
massacre. So to do that, he's got to get people
Yeah, he's
easily, so they're not thinking straight.
Which is the thing. So again, in case you don't know, you haven't looked into anything that they've been saying. Season 2 is going to go back to, what is it, the 30s there. So we're getting what's in the, essentially how the intro is played is what he's doing, which is interesting because he's showing you like time going backwards with the intro. So the like gang members that we like, the mob members, whatever, that we see in the town square shooting each other with Tommy guns, that's where we're going next. And then he's said that season 3 will be the very last thing you see in that intro, which is the steel mill exploding. So it's like, that's why he did the intro the way he did, was like, this is where we are, this is where we're going to go, and it's going backwards.
Yep. So the next season will be 1935. Is when the Bradley Gang massacre. So. And remember these years. Remember these years are based on the movie, not the book, because everything got shifted forward a little bit for the movie and the TV show.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I know there's some people who have complained about it, of like, that's not how it was, but it's like, yeah, but the movies also, remaking the movies had to bump the timeline up to make any sense for what they were doing.
The other thing it does is it makes it easier than having to recreate sets from earlier on, because if you're basing the It Chapter 2 in 2016, that's easy. That's
yeah. Also, I agree with the general opinion that I've been seeing, and I like this opinion, which is, stop comparing the Pennywises. They are completely different for different fucking reasons.
Yep.
Tim Curry's was very much, and I agree with this, it was on a much smaller budget. It was made for TV, so it was very much, Tim Curry had to embody a demonic clown without having any reliance on anything other than just how he could betray it. And he did traumatize many, many, many children. So like, he did the job he was supposed to do. And I still enjoy his version.
And he was more of a dance clown than
yes.
Yes. More of a instead of what we get with Skarsgård.
Yes,
which works for both of them. Yeah,
they both work for what it is that they are, the way that they're established and set up. You could try to compare them, but they're two completely different realms of how they're handled, and they both work for what they are. So this season was again just very nice. I like the way they used the shine. I liked. I think it's interesting playing with this whole he knows he's in a time loop kind of thing, that like it's just constantly repeating for him, blah blah blah. I thought that was pretty neat. The other meme that has come out from that fucking finale is Richie running by and just flipping it off.
Yeah.
I when I saw that, I had to. My thought on that was just like, that's actually funny, because it's even funnier to me of like, not only is this kid coming back as a ghost to stop you, but there's also an added like, you didn't get to kill me, and guess what? I'm still gonna stop you. It's like you tried to eat all of us. I sacrificed myself, so fuck you. Oh, also, going back to the black spot, I forgot one other detail in there that I wanted to bring up. They only really ever focus on him like eating kids, whatever. But with the black spot, they show straight up he'll just eat anyone. Like, he did not give a shit. Because there was a woman who was super scared, and he just comes out of nowhere and is like, "Take my hand, I'll take you to safety."
Yep. Yeah.
And then the next time you see him, he's completely eating her face. Like, he does not care if it's an adult or a kid. Food is food to this thing.
And remember too, in the movies he said, it's the fear. He made people afraid.
Yes.
So if somebody's standing there and they watch him bite the head off somebody, they're afraid. And so that's what he needs.
Which that's in the King universe, that's another thing, is like Pennywise's fear, his brother's laughter. I can't remember what his like brother's name is, but he mentions Pennywise and how Pennywise is a weaker version of everyone else in the family. That like, out of all of them, he's the weakest, which is so strange when you think about it, with like how much he's able to do. And they're like, oh no, he's the weakest of like all of us, and it's like, God damn, kids, like, thank God you don't have to face anyone else, because you barely make it through this one. But no, again, I thought all this was very, I liked everything that they did. I'm very excited to see how they're going to play with the time travel and going, essentially admitting that there will be younger versions of people in season 1 and season 2 and so on and so forth. And it very heavily implying that like, he's going to try to stop these kids from ever being born, and he will never die, which is, again, a unique flair to take with it.
Excuse me, dang it.
Paul's dying.
Yes. I you know what, though? I wouldn't even call it time travel. Yeah, he showed but we're not actually going to see him traveling through time.
It's not actually traveling through time, but it's just more... Each time period, he knows what's happening, so it's him trying to change the events that will transpire.
I would be really surprised if any of the outside of glimpses for us, the viewer, to see what happened in the previous season, that there's not going to be a whole lot of, well, here's what's going to happen in 27 years, or
Fair.
From him, if to the other characters. I don't think we're going to get a lot of what we got with like the poster of Richie going, "Hey, he's
Well, I mean,
and her first thought, her third one, I thought was, somebody's going to have sex with me. Awesome. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, there's that other movie we watched where one lady got it in the eye. So,
Hey, we don't need to go back to that movie. But just overall, this was a very nice little series. I would recommend it to anyone who's a fan of any of the stuff here. If you watch the newer movies, like, this is pretty fun. This is a nice little way to show the history of Derry, but also, as I said, add a little unique flair to it to make it stand out. I think he's doing a pretty good job. I'm excited to see
and for those going, it doesn't follow the book. Get over it. Because, I mean, Misery didn't follow the book either, but they both stand very well on their own.
Nothing follows the books precisely.
Yeah.
There's
speaking, I got to do this. Speaking of Misery, since I mentioned it, rest in peace to Rob Reiner, who passed away. And
It's not fair. It's not fair.
No.
It's like the end of this year is turning into a shit show. I don't enjoy it anymore. For people around my age group and like your late 20s, your early 30s there were also a lot of voice actors that have died just in the past week on top of Reiner, and I was just like, this end of year sucks.
Yeah, there's been a couple others from my generation as well too. So yeah. No, but as you get older, you start to realize, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that guy from that. I remember that guy from that.
I'm already at that point, sir. I don't want to I'm getting to a point where it's who, and then I see something they did, and I'm like, oh.
I hate every time I see somebody's name trending on Twitter. It's like, oh crap.
I'm bad with names, so I'm not. That's why I don't have names. I don't have it all pulled up in front of me. But it's just things that have happened since we last recorded, where it's just the end of this year is killing fucking everybody, and I'm not okay with it. Not okay with it at all.
On the good side, Dick Van Dyke turned 100 the other day.
I couldn't fucking believe that. I forgot that man was even still alive at this point. With everyone else dead. It's like, this man's still alive. Holy shit.
And he still can't do an English accent, he'll tell you.
Well, and what do you do? What do you do? But back into Welcome to Derry.
Back to Derry.
Speaking of Derry, I watched the new Running Man because that's also Stephen King.
I haven't watched it yet. Is it good?
I didn't hate it. I don't know why people were hating on it. I really don't.
Because it wasn't the cornball Schwarzenegger one.
Here's the thing. They still make a reference to Arnie. He's on like the money that they have. He's like the face on the money. So I was like, you have a reference to Arnie right there that works. No, I liked it. I thought it was pretty fun. I saw people saying the pacing was bad, but I was like, I didn't think so. I think it actually kind of worked. It just plays more with the book than what the Arnie one did.
That's what I've heard. Well. It's on my list. So yeah.
But the only reason to bring that up is because they mention Derry because at one point he ends up in Derry, and there's an older woman who mentions like, I hope he's not here in Derry, and I went, there it is. They made it an official King tie-in for people. They're dropping that he's in Derry.
I admit, when the movie first came out in the 80s, I didn't realize it was a Stephen King story.
No, because the Arnold one doesn't make any reference to anything. Doesn't
and even Stand By Me, I didn't realize when I first saw it that Stand By Me was based on a Stephen King short story as well.
That's fair. Speaking of which, I'm seeing that they're. So here's the downside, folks. Welcome to Derry was really fun and really good. Really
so I was going to point out, if you haven't watched it yet, you're going to watch it. You might want to pace yourself.
There's two downsides. My first downside, I will say, because Welcome to Derry has done so well, they're talking about remaking more Stephen King things and doing more Stephen King things.
I hadn't heard that. That makes my head hurt.
I saw a report that they're apparently talking about redoing Misery again, and I was like, please don't.
No,
the
of
original
all the movies,
fine.
Of all the movies that do not need to be touched to his, that's it right there.
Get ready, because it was unfortunate that Rob Reiner was taken from us, because right before he was taken from us, they were also spitballing the idea of doing Stand By Me again, and I was like, can we not dig up all these again? I get this series did well, but it's doing well because it's doing something different.
We're gonna do the two Rob Reiner movies over again. I hope it's
basically. So we'll see, because I also have heard talk that they're redoing Cujo, which is another one where I'm like, why? You know what that is? It's people trapped in a car by a vicious dog. The movie is already done. You're not going to remake it and make it any better, because that's the whole story.
Yeah.
What do you think you're gonna do?
Everybody
different?
knows the dog has rabies, just like everybody knows that Old Yeller dies at the end. Okay.
Hey, tell you what, Hollywood, you really want to remake one that just wasn't good, and you want to see if you can make it better? Why don't you redo Maximum Overdrive? Huh? Why don't you dig up that pile of shit? See if you can make it better.
Yeah. The Tommy Knockers, which was a good book, but not a good miniseries.
Or the Langoliers. Redo the Langoliers now that you have better special effects. Fucking do one of those.
The Dreamcatcher, please, for the love of God, redo Dreamcatcher.
Please. I rewatched that recently. And I went insane. So I was like, there's so much stuff in here that they don't explain. They don't even attempt to make it like what it is. Because fun fact, folks, when he's in his mind, that's just the shine. But they don't call it that. And they just dance around making any reference to fucking anything in that movie. It's so bad. That's another one. Like, just remake the bad ones. Stop going after the ones that already did good in our cult classic. Like, Stand By Me and Misery are fine. Those movies don't need to be touched. They are perfect the way they are.
Well, and they shouldn't be touched, really.
No,
because
they shouldn't.
There's no reason to bring them up to date. It's like when they brought Carrie up to date. It was all right, but nothing beats the Sissy Spacek version.
Yeah, like you're not gonna outdo it. And I felt the same way with Pet Sematary, where it's like we didn't need a remake of that. Like that one was fine as it
I
was.
will say, for the love of God, will somebody remake Salem's Lot and do it well? Okay, do it.
Well, we'll see if anything else actually gets touched. But the second bad piece of news for everybody, again, in case you haven't seen the news going on around, Netflix is acquiring WB. Officially, the Paramount has been tossed out on their offer. They're going to continue with Netflix.
Yeah. WB said, no, we're good. Thanks.
Which I understand. I understand why people are upset that WB would be selling at all. Because I had to explain this to a friend of mine of like, why are they selling it all? Because the person who got put in charge of WB was very bad at business with that studio and kept investing in things that were not making them fucking money. You know what they kept making money on? HBO things and DC. Because past that, he's like, no, we don't need animation. Now focus more on reality TV, and it fucking bankrupted them because anything else they did, they kept fucking shelving and not releasing.
Now the story is that's why Zaslav was put in charge, is because they wanted to sell off the gaming division and the DC division. So fucking stupid. And so he was purposely trying to tank the value so they would sell it off.
It's so stupid. The only upside that I have. 100%. Is that with the gaming getting bought, maybe, just maybe, for the first time in 10 fucking years, somebody else will be able to use the Nemesis system. Because it's only available in Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War.
Which and it's been sitting on their shelf ever since then, and it's been sitting on a shelf ever since.
They pulled a Disney and copyrighted that fucking system, and we're like, no one else can use this, and it sucks because it's a good system,
which to me is from a business standpoint, it's stupid. Sell off the licensing.
You never fucking used it. Like what?
You could make a crap load of money by giving it selling off licenses to the other studios.
And for those of you who are not gamers, if you don't, or maybe you just missed out on what that was. The Nemesis system that WB made was essentially an early days AI, where it randomly generates all the enemies. It randomly generates all the shit with it. And if they die or killed you, if you killed them, sometimes they come back. But if they killed you, they got upgraded. They would like gain immunities to how you killed them or hurt them. Like there was a whole system to it that made it to where you didn't have to set the game on hard.
And if you killed them, their underlings would get pissed off and come after your ass.
Yeah. Like I just finished replaying Shadow of War because again, I just like the system. The game itself has issues, but I like that the system that they have in there because it makes it an interesting play of who's gonna come hunting me down because I just killed this war chief. Like it's a whole thing. I'm hoping that does become available because there's a lot of games that could use that in a very unique way. For example, imagine like an RPG where kind of like a Fallout. We'll say Fallout as an example just because that's in my brain because of recent. Say you're playing a game like that and it's the same thing where you killed like a town mayor and then the sheriffs all hunt you down, but instead of just sending someone to hunt you down, like you literally have like 2 people that are on a vendetta to hunt your ass down because they saw you do it or they know you did it. That's basically the Nemesis system in a nutshell. It's a very interesting thing that I think other people should be able to use. We've talked a whole bunch about WB and everything Stephen King here. But in general, welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry. Very fun. Go check it out. But the bad news, as I was getting to there, is WB being sold to Netflix. Season 2 is going to be on a hiatus. Like, they could film things, maybe, but because the studio's not going to be a studio, they kind of have to wait for a couple papers to be signed so that then they can get a green light on, you can fully do this now. So they don't want to make people wait, but it's out of their hands of what may or may not happen now, which is unfortunate for all of us. Because who knows how long that deal's going to fucking take. So fun. I hate that. But yeah, so that's our thoughts there. Just go check it out for yourself. It was a lot of fun. If you were hesitant about it because of whatever, it's a lot of fun. And if you enjoy it in general, I think you'd enjoy the series. They play with some fun stuff on it. So I mean, that's my thoughts. And
enjoy it for what it is. And like I said, I told him before the show, and this is how I'm going to end my part: is the world needs more Richies. Be a Richie. If you're facing insurmountable evil, be a Richie. You know, just
100% be a Richie. Just be a Richie. I couldn't agree more on that. Go watch the Osmosis Jones episode because that'll be the newest Bad Taste in between this.
Oh, thank you. I didn't have to watch that one. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, you're the only one because it was me and Maverick, and then Anthony was mad because we didn't invite him on for that, but we didn't realize that he also was autistic with that movie, so we made a mistake. But we had promised we'll let him cover it with us when we redo it in a couple years if we do. But go back for that one. That holds a lot of nostalgia for me growing up outside of Buffalo because it made a very specific event become a thing because of that movie. So it has a lot of meaning for my neck of the woods. Past that though, just, like, comment, subscribe, leave us, your thoughts, what you thought of Derry or anything that we've said here in our endless amount of rambling of everything Stephen King and WB. Yeah, that's all I got. Stay odd, stay happy. Follow us at OddcastN, oddcastmedia@gmail.com. If you want episodes early, especially Bad Taste episodes, go over to patreon.com/oddcastn. And then this guy over here, you got to follow him at Cerebral Paul.
Cerebral Paul 1 at Twitter and Cerebral Paul on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah.
Yes. So just go follow him because he posts a lot of stuff. So, there's always something. Because he does other stuff besides being here. So go support him in what he does. Yeah. He does more than I do.
Yeah, but you do more editing and stuff.
But tune in to X, Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We have the Undie Awards going on the 23rd, which for me will be Christmas Eve. But the Oddcast is in the running for a couple of categories to get a little indie award, which for me it would just be nice to get recognition for fucking working as hard as I do on everything. So I'm appreciative that I've been included in this. We'll probably also, they'll probably bring it up there, but they've started their own indie podcast app. It's a whole thing that they're trying to get off the ground, and I've just been in talks with them on that. But yeah, go check us out with the Undie Awards. Maybe we'll fucking win something. Wouldn't that be neat? Suck it, Dad. All right, anyway, goodbye, everybody.